Congratulations to the doubleheader winner, Matt Millett. Maybe we should just run last week's Open, because for the third time this season, Ryan Villapoto and Ben Townley are locked in a tie for the AMA Motocross Lights Championship. With the competition more than 50 points down, it's a two-man show with 5 rounds left. The series moves to Washougal, Washington, where Villapoto will have the home state advantage. From the Pacific Northwest, Round 8, Motocross Lights, next on Speed. It's the 2007 AMA Toyota Motocross Championship presented by FMF. Round 8 is the Unbound Energy Drink National from Washougal Motocross Park. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside multi-time National Motocross Champion Jeff Emig, and Aaron Bates will join us down on the racetrack. There's Ryan Villapoto and Ben Townley. Let's show you some of the highlights from last week in Lakewood, Colorado, where these two went at it once again. And Jeff, this is a view that we expect to see pretty much throughout the season. Townley and Villapoto bar to bar having at it for the win.
Oh, these guys have been battling each and every race, each moto. This one is going to come down to the wire for the championship.
And it's pretty much going to be whoever makes the least amount of mistakes. In that moto, it was Townley making this mistake and Villapoto taking the win. However, in moto number 2, it went the other way around.
Yeah, Villapoto has been the rider each one of the first motos, but in his second motos, just like here, he's been making little mistakes. Moto 2 guy has been Ben Townley all the way.
So Townley takes the overall win, and they're exactly dead even atop the standings, pretty much the way they went into the race at Lakewood. They came out, but with a little bit more points to their totals.
Yeah, the only difference is Ben Townley having the edge in the second motos. He's been able to achieve more overall wins, but the points have stayed pretty much the same.
Well, let's check in now with Aaron Bates with the Progressive Direct pre-race report.
Well, you know him aboard the factory Yamaha, the number 58 of Josh Hill. And this weekend, a special weekend because he's performing in front of his very hometown crowd. Josh, what is it like coming in here in front of all your friends and family?
Well, it's great. You know, I'm got to ride more this week, got to get more practice and training in, and then just come to my home track. It was just felt good right off the bat and had some fun.
Now, this is the 8th round in. Give us a little take on what your season has been like. You've had a lot of mechanical problems. Is frustration setting in at this point, or are you trying to get remotivated to keep going?
Well, if I just stay frustrated, you know, it's not going to help anything for this weekend. So I just tried to come into this with a whole new game plan and just try to get on the podium and try to win it.
Well, let's take you to moto number 1 now and show you a highlighted look at the action from the opening moto of the day as the gate dropped and the racers headed for turn number 1.
Great start for Ryan Dungey. Once again, getting out front, has been consistently up front all season.
Makita Suzuki rider on bike number 62 out front on that yellow Suzuki. But the rest of the pack comes charging after him, including that number 1 of Ryan Villapoto.
And I tell you, Ralph, you want to get the whole shot here at Washougal because that first run up that huge hill, if you don't get the start, you are getting pelted. The dirt here at Washougal, pretty hard base.
Villapoto around the outside, taking the lead away from Dungey. And you can see coming along in third, here comes that other Monster Energy Pro Circuit machine on the 101 was Ben Townley.
And Villapoto, last year's champion, one of the hometown riders here, along with Josh Hill, gets that big motivation, that big boost from the crowd. They love to see one of their guys out here winning this Lights Motocross event.
Townley powers around the outside of Dungey. And then this battle brewed for 4th place. The 123, of course, is Brett Metcalf. And right with him on the number 60 machine is Brock Kepler.
This battle lasted the whole moto with Brock Kepler just edging out Metcalf for 4th place.
While that one raged on, we turn our attentions back to the front. Townley sitting in 2nd, trying to catch up to Villapoto, but the Washington native had pretty much checked out.
Well, I think Washougal is one of those tracks where the local knowledge really plays into it, and Villapoto just was on fire once again in the first moto. just Townley, he wasn't going to catch him, but Townley did what he needed to do for the championship, and that was finish right in there in second place.
And the biggest difference between this and Lakewood, nobody made a mistake. They just finished 1 and 2 without anybody going face first into the dirt.
See Villapoto heading up one of the signature lines here on Washougal.
Now the question would be, would anybody make a mistake in Moto number 2? No mistakes in Moto number 1. Villapoto obviously feeding off the frenzied fans. He takes the win in Moto number 1, and half the job of the day is complete for Ryan Villapoto. So here's a look at our Toyota Trucks results for Moto 1. Villapoto, Townley, and Dungey, who had the whole shot, ends up third. And we head down to the victory podium area where we catch up with our winner, Ryan Villapoto, with Aaron Bates.
Well, he's definitely not scared of riding with a lot of pressure on his shoulders in front of the hometown crowd. Ryan, coming up to the start line, you were extremely nervous. Are you happy to have the monkey off your back getting that win?
Yeah, the track's great, and it's just cool to come back up here. I haven't been up here in a while and get to see how green it is and what I'm missing when I'm down in California. So, just happy to be up here riding in front of all the people that watched me grow up and, just making it fun.
Do you feel as though you're at a bit of an advantage coming back here to ride, even though you haven't actually ridden this track since amateur days? All the track changes that have been done as well?
Yes and no. I mean, amateur, when I used to ride here, I always crash and always get beat. So I'm just trying to stay up and, get good starts and hopefully, get this second moto wrapped up.
Things are heating up. Good luck in the second moto.
Thank you.
So we get set now for Moto number 2 when we come back to Washougal after this. The all-new 2007 Tundra, the truck that's changing it all. Do you live and breathe motorcycle racing? Now you can get the latest race results and news right on your phone with weekly green alerts from Speed. Text KX to 773333 on your mobile phone to receive free motorcycle racing text alerts. Speed Green Alerts presented by Kawasaki. Welcome back to Washougal, Washington, getting closer to the start of Moto number 2. There's a great look from high above our Honda Skycam showing you the racetrack through the woods here in Washougal. There's the man everybody chasing Moto number 1. Of course, Ryan Villapoto, the man chasing him in the championship, trying to steal that number 1 away from him, Ben Townley. The guy that got the whole shot in Moto number 1 was Ryan Dungey. And getting ready for another Progressive Direct pre-race report is our Aaron Bates.
The number 73 of Jake Weimer is motivated at this point of the season, coming into the 8th round. Even though he may have just had a 13th on his first moto, it's not what he had expected, especially what he's been practicing over this past week. He's working on his technique and his style of all things, something that is extremely hard to change up when he's been a pro for however many years. Coming in and just having 3 days to try to change his technique, but he's trying to work on some more corner speed, keeping his elbows up, not dragging his brake, trying to find any kind of additional speed that he possibly can, working on his style. We're going to see if this works out for him here for the second moto.
Jeff, how hard is it teaching old dog new tricks?
Well, Jake's not quite the old dog yet. If it was me trying to change it, yeah, it would be hard. But good for Jake, out there working on things, really trying to improve his program. And this summer he's had some really great rides.
Our format today pretty much the same as each and every week. 40 riders in the gate, 2 motos. And here's a look at our Suzuki starting grid as the riders start to fire up their machines, getting ready for Moto number 2. All the key players are there. Everybody ready to go. Jason Lawrence on that 338 was very fast a week ago in Lakewood, Colorado.
Yeah, but the guy to beat today is Ryan Villapoto. And can he change things up, get back to his winning ways of winning both motos, try to get the points lead over his teammate Ben Townley. Townley has had the edge in the second motos. Can the hometown crowd help propel Villapoto to the win?
There's our Honda Skycam. Ready to go. Charging up the hill, and it looks like Ryan Dungey gets the whole shot again, but he'll lose it quickly. Wow, now we're going to go almost 3 wide as we continue to move our way up the mountain.
Washougal, Washington, Washougal MX Park, one of the more scenic tracks on the circuit. I always really enjoyed riding here, and that this track is so difficult because there's not a lot of traction. The base is pretty hard, as we see Brock Hepler taking the lead here in the second moto.
And Townley's right behind him. The big question is, where is Villapoto? He got a horrible start, Jeff. And the one thing he can't do is let Townley get away.
Take a look at the start here, right in the center of our screen. The 62 of Ryan Dungey just dialed in off the gate. Take a look at it from overhead. Just on the right part of the screen there, the yellow bike just rockets out to another hole shot.
Well, and Villapoto was right alongside of Dungey, and it looks like he got squeezed out as they got into that first corner. Cost him a lot of spots. Meanwhile, Hepler and Townley charging away from the rest of the pack.
And you see these riders going to the outside here. This is what typically is the whoop section. This year they built these up. These things are more like jumps, so they're going to the outside trying to find a little more drive and momentum entering that section.
I'm not even sure Villapoto's inside the top 10. He's not showing up anywhere on the screen. That looks like the 24 Josh Grant running in about fourth. There goes Dungey on the 62. Well, I think Townley's going to be loving this when he comes by the mechanics area and gets a sign about how much of a lead he's got over Villapoto.
Well, he definitely does, but he's focused on winning the moto each and every round. Townley has just been so solid. Villapoto's typically been, lap time-wise, been the fastest, but Townley, once again here in the second moto, has came out with a great start.
But Jeff, Villapoto's all the way back in 20th position.
20th position. Now here at Washougal, it's a little bit hard to pass, but can Ryan Villapoto use some of that local knowledge and the years of and race after race as an amateur here on this track? Does he have some secret lines to get through the pack here and work his way back up to the lead? I think he can do it.
Well, and if Villapoto's buried that far back, Townley doesn't necessarily have to pass Hepler to win the overall today. A 2-2 finish would give him the overall win.
Yeah, but it's not about the overall. It's about the points at this point. The overall is a bonus because for these two guys, they are locked into this just tremendous battle for the championship. They've been tied here for the last couple of weeks. If I'm Ben Townley, I'm wanting to get every little bit of points that I can, but I'm not going to risk going down trying to pass Brock Hepler. So Ben Townley's I believe he's going to ride well within himself.
There's Villapoto on the number 1. Of course, he has the red number plate since he is the reigning national champion, trying to work his way through the field. And he's up to the 52 machine right now, Thomas Hahn, on that red Honda.
Now, one thing about the track here at Washougal is they're always changing the track. It's not the exact same, especially through this section that they're in now. Year after year, they're always switching it up a little bit. One thing that Villapoto will know is he knows the condition of the soil, and he knows the traction, because traction is pretty hard to come by here at Washougal. So that's where that local knowledge I was talking about, that's specifically where where it's going to play into the second moto.
Well, right now, his biggest challenge is getting around the 338 of Jason Lawrence. And Jeff, we know that those two have had some issues throughout the course of the season. They race each other very hard, sometimes clean, sometimes not so clean. And that's Lawrence on the 338. Now we move back up to the front, the battle for the lead. Here's Hepler and Townley. Hepler in the blue and white Yamaha. Oh, Townley around the outside. Here he comes. And that's a beautifully done, nice, clean pass for the lead, Jeff. He accomplished the goals you said and did it smoothly and didn't put himself at risk.
Well, it looks like Brock Hepler has something. He's going to try an outside move on his own. Just love this section here, over this jump and up the hill. Thousands of spectators here at the event can see that, and that's the drag race. That's where the bike with the most horsepower ends up getting to the top first. Let's take a look at this replay. You see Townley really getting close to Hepler. It just takes a lower line. See, he stayed about a half a bike length lower over that jump and just used that momentum around the outside to take the lead.
There's the mechanics area. Lungs, think about your breathing and keep your mind focused. We're focusing on a commercial, but we'll be right back. working their way through what has been an outstanding championship season so far, with Ben Townley and Ryan Villapoto tied for the points lead coming into round 8 here today. Townley leading in moto number 2. Villapoto won moto number 1, but he's buried deep in the pack. There he is. You already saw Townley, who's out in front of Brock Hepler. And it looks like Villapoto has gotten around Jason Lawrence.
In classic Villapoto style, he is just on the gas, feet flying off right now. Won that first moto, and he is just blistering past the second moto, going past some of these riders like they're standing still. Still got a lot of time left in this moto, you know, to eventually get up into a podium position.
That's Jake Weimer on the 73. And it looks like Joaquin Rodriguez just in front of them on the 108. Yep. That's the next rider he'll be dealing with.
And Villapoto is just putting on a charge. Let's watch him through this rhythm section. Chooses an outside line. Looks like he's getting an extra triple in there. Not quite enough to get past Rodriguez.
His teammate Chris Gosler is coming up as well on the 102. There he is. And Robert Canary on the 54. Whoa, boy.
And look at Villapoto. He is just trying every line available, inside, outside. It doesn't matter. He's just trying to get himself to the front and gain those valuable championship points.
Just go where the other guys are not.
That is exactly it. You will not pass a guy if you are on his rear tire. You have to find a different way around. And Washougal's tough because there's not a lot of traction to be had. As we go back to the leaders here, we see this battle is just brewing between the top 3 riders. These guys are really racing hard. They want this moto win. Ben Townley's going to do what he has to do to get this moto win. He's been so good in the second moto. It's because he's been so steady, right? He's been a very smart rider this summer.
Here's Villapoto's mechanic, the green and black, trying to be as patient as he can while his man charges to the front. There's Robert Canary on the 54, Gosler on the 102, and here comes Villapoto.
And in a moto like this, the mechanic and the signals that you get, as Villapoto just picks off his teammate Gosler. What I was going to say, Ralph, is that the mechanic is so important to keep giving you that encouragement, keep letting you know where your position in the race is, and to keep encouraging you to move forward.
Villapoto working his way towards the top 10. He's 9th now, trying to get 8th away from Canary, and does so. Remember, he was all the way back to about 20th when this thing got started, so he's picked off about 12 riders, but Jeff, he's used up a lot of energy, and this moto is 30 minutes plus 2 laps.
Yeah, but for all these riders, this is the second moto. You can rest tonight, right? Lay it all on the line right now.
Well, we're going to take a quick break and rest a little bit during the commercial. I know you're starting to look a little tired, Emmett. We'll be right back for more. Lights National Championship season for 2007. Our Honda Skycam as we watch the battle for the lead from high above here. That is Ben Townley on the 101. Took the lead away from Brock Hepler. Villapoto is now up to 7th and closing.
7th place, and he was way back off the start.
There he is getting around the 55 of Ryan Sipes, but Sipes not going to make it easy for him on that red Honda.
And you can see Sipes as he tried to cut back to the inside. You just seen a shiny line from the rear tire, just shaved it off. That's the real difficult thing about Washougal is trying to find traction and find these little edges in the corner, to get turned around and get moving the direction you want to go.
What is it about the dirt here, Jeff, that doesn't give you much traction? Oh, he gets cut off there.
Well, in a lot of sections, a lot of the topsoil is gone. There's some new sections to the track this year. They've made some changes, trying to get a little more topsoil on, but just the base of that dirt is really hard.
Townley flying through the air. Family and friends came over and surprised him from New Zealand. That really gave him a big boost of momentum last week in Lakewood, Colorado, and he repaid the favor with the overall win.
And as you see the riders come down through the tree section
Hepler!
here.
Oh, he hung on.
He hung on to that, and that's one of the difficult sections. You can see some of the shadows here. They have these wonderful trees up here, but it's very scenic, but at times it makes it a little dark. Then you go into the sunlight, and that adds a whole new element, a whole new challenge for these riders.
Dungey having a much better run here in Moto number 2. In Moto number 1, he had the whole shot as well, but wasn't as competitive by staying up in the contention for the win.
See Brock Kepler getting some encouragement from one of the factory Yamaha technicians. And this battle is really tightening up. Townley, you know, Ralph, Brock Kepler does not have his goggles on right now.
Yeah, you're right. He lost them somewhere along the way.
Let's see if he stops in the mechanics area and grabs a set. Looks like he's just going to roll with it. And I'm telling you, the roost here at Washougal is so bad. That's why he has dropped off the pace from Ben Townley. Remember, he was working Ben Townley hard, still battling for the lead.
Outside of the roost, what other issues will he have?
Well, I think just the air hitting your eyes and making your eyes water is going to be one of the major problems that he's going to have to deal with. But this late in the moto, he's not going to stop. He's just going to go for it.
There goes Hepler and Dungey. And you can see it's a big gap all the way back to Josh Grant right there on the number 24 who runs in fourth.
Now remember, Hepler was fourth in the first moto. The second here is going to put him on the podium.
In the championship, oh, we got one rider down here, Bobby Canary, who was up inside the top 10. And it looks like they're paying attention to his right arm or wrist area. Hopefully Bobby will be okay, and we will be right back for more of Moto 2 from Washougal. By Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. Did you miss any AMA racing action? Want to relive the excitement? Watch all the 2007 AMA Supercross and Superbike events on Speed On Demand online. And it's all free, courtesy of Yamaha. So log on now to speedtv.com, keyword Yamaha, and get up to speed. Oh, we got some great motorcycle racing action for you today from here in Washougal. Motocross Lights in action with round number 8. The best battle is right here for second place between Brock Kepler in the blue and white, number 60, and the 62 of Ryan Dungey. Now, Kepler is without his goggles, but apparently, Aaron, somebody else is as well.
Taking a look at the factory Yamaha number 58, Josh Hill ripping out of the mechanics area, having to swing in and getting a fresh set of goggles. This one is definitely going to cost him something that he needed dearly at this point, but at least it wasn't a mechanical for him as of right now.
Tough day for the goggle guys.
Yeah, very interesting. Both of the factory Yamaha Lights riders experiencing goggle problems. Hepler still riding at the very top levels here, battling for a podium position without his goggles. And I'm telling you, it is tough to ride. It is tough to ride any motocross race without your goggles. And as opposed to NASCAR or these other motorsports events where you come in for a pit stop, in motocross, you make a pit stop like Josh Hill did, you lose a lot of positions.
A tremendous amount. But when you're sitting in second like Kepler is right now and a good shot at a top spot on the podium, well, you don't want to pull in.
No, he's not going to pull in. He's going to ride this out. And like we said, he's just off of the leader here, but he's got Ryan Dungey. He's breathing down his neck. See how long he can last without his goggles.
Well, not getting roosted by Dungey is a good excuse to ride hard to stay out in front. This is again the battle for second. And Villapoto has been working his way up into the top 10. He's all the way up to fourth now after having fallen all the way back to 20th at the start of this race. So give credit to Villapoto for charging back hard and salvaging quite a bit of points, even if he's not going to get the overall win here.
I'm telling you, Ralph, that is an incredible ride that Villapoto has put on, because he was outside of the top 20 on the first lap. Not sure what the problem was, why he started so far back, but what an incredible ride.
There's Dungey right alongside and past Hepler. Now can Brock counter?
It's going to be tough for Brock Hepler to put on any sort of charge, because without his goggles, you know, to see how he looked away right there. He's
kind of shading to one side, isn't he?
Yeah, and just an incredible effort.
Oh, but there's a great move. What a strong move by Hepler.
He set that up, just worked the outside in, and it's a drag race.
Boy, they're still dead even. Great action here. Hepler and Dungey. Meanwhile, Townley pulls, oh boy, and Hepler just stands him up.
Yeah, he stood him up. He kept it pretty clean, but he needed to get that little bit of stoppage from Dungey. Whoa, that could have been bad. Dungey just hitting a kicker coming down the peristyle. That would be a bad place to go over the bars.
Oh, but then the rear end breaks loose on Hepler. The two of them having issues. Both riders completely on the edge here as they battle for second.
Let's take a look at this as Hepler gets to the inside of Dungey. Wants to make sure that he makes the pass stick and gains a little bit of breathing room.
And here comes Dungey trying to mount another challenge.
And both these riders have been letting it all hang out here in the second moto. As of right now, they both have podium spots. Gonna have to check the math, because with Villapoto all the way up to fourth now, after winning the first moto, it's gonna be pretty tight for the podium spots.
Man, look at Hepler. Look at this.
They're
Tremendous.
playing a little cat and mouse here. Hepler getting back by.
And Villapoto, don't forget, is not that far back. He had worked his way up to fourth. And Jeff, as hard as these two guys are riding, if they make a mistake anywhere in here, Villapoto could find himself in second.
Well, and you can see that our leader, Ben Townley, is now stretched out a few seconds in first. And Villapoto, he is coming from behind, really putting on a good ride. And now Hepler, with these goggles off, I've seen him make a lot of mistakes here. 2 mistakes just in the last 5 seconds. But what an incredible ride to still be battling.
And there goes Dungey by again. I don't know if Hepler has anything left.
It's going to be tough in some of these sections. Hepler cannot take on any roost like this. Watch him through here. Replay of last lap. See if he uses the same lines again.
Brock Hepler doing a tremendous job of hanging in there, and we'll be right back for more.
You know when you want something so bad, you'll do anything to get it?
For us down in the pits today, that's our Honda Skycam. And Jason Lawrence is in on the pit area as well. Goggles for him as well. It's been a tough day for Goggles with the Yamaha teams.
Yeah, Lawrence voicing his frustration there. Not having a very good day at all. Was 10th in the first moto.
3 Yamaha riders all losing their goggles, but Brock Hepler continues without his. He never pitted. He sits in third. Ryan Villapoto, the reigning national champ on the number 1, fell all the way back to 20th when the gate dropped, has worked his way up to 4th and is challenging Hepler for 3rd now.
And I tell you, Ryan Villapoto is riding like a man possessed. He is in this position when you were the man in the first moto and you have that bad second moto on a day where you potentially could win both motos. You've been the fastest rider. He is letting it all hang out. And also he knows that his teammate that he is battling tooth and nail for the championship is the guy that's up there in first position, taking 25 valuable championship points.
That, of course, is Ben Townley. The two of them tied for the championship points coming into today's race. There's Ryan Dungey on the 62. He sits in second. So Villapoto could easily get up to second here, Jeff, in the closing stages of this one.
He is right there knocking on the door of that, and he's just been incredible this moto. Still charging hard all the way to the finish. All of these guys, all of these riders in the lights class in such great physical condition. The 30 minutes plus 2 laps, doing it twice a day is no problem for him.
And there is 3rd place for Villapoto. he continues this incredible charge up through the field.
And you got to know, Ralph, that the hometown crowd, you see the fans waving him on, waving the banners, the towels, cheering for him, that is helping drive Villapoto up to the top. And if you take a look at the back of the Yamaha, Brock Hepler, starting to see a little white smoke coming out that muffler. Not a good sign for the engine.
There's Ryan Dungey. That's the next mark for Villapoto. Dungey holds down second. Boy, if Villapoto can get second out of this, Jeff, that would be incredible.
Well, Ryan has just rode an incredible race here, and he has been so fast all day, and I'm telling you, he is in the moment right now.
Oh, down goes Villapoto! Oh, man!
Just as I start to talk about how focused Ryan Villapoto is, he has a huge get-off, and look at that, he's going to get back on the bike. So fortunate that he didn't suffer an injury there. If he did, he's putting it out of his mind, and he's going to finish this race off.
That's amazing. Villapoto has only slipped back to fourth, shaking his head. Remember, he won Moto number 1. The gate dropped here in Moto number 2. He went to 20th, fighting for second, and look what happened.
And right here, he loses traction, and then there's a small kicker. Unbelievable crash. We seen the same crash out of Travis Pastrana some years ago in the lights class, and they took him away in an ambulance. Ryan Villapoto jumped right back on the bike and is going after it again.
So now he's got to catch Hepler again to try to get third place back and maybe catch Dungey. Wow, what a race. Stay with us. The finish is coming your way. And that is your race leader, Ben Townley, who has pretty much led the majority of this race. Trying to take the overall win, finished second in Moto number 2, and trying to take the points lead away from his teammate, the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team, Ryan Villapoto.
Ben Townley just been so good in the second motos this year. You always get this sense that he's got this long-term goal, this championship, and he's going about it very methodical. He's not, trying to eliminate the mistakes and just pacing himself. Whereas Ryan Villapoto, on the other hand, especially in this moto, has just let it all hang out, and he has been the aggressor all series.
Ryan Dungey on the 62 is in second, I should say. Third is going to be the battle between Villapoto and Hepler, with Hepler holding it for right now.
Townley has really stretched it out on Dungey here. Dungey got locked into that battle with Hepler where they were holding each other up, and Ben Townley has really poured it on here in the second moto. But great ride for Dungey too, and coming off of that crash at Redbud, and just has rebounded and has been just as solid, been just as smart and physically fit as what he's been all season. Although he missed that one weekend, he's just picked it right back up, and it's been really awesome this year. And you know that he's been training with the great Johnny O'Mara, and so this late second moto, Dungey is really going to have something in the tank.
Villapoto has gotten around Hepler again. He's back up to third, crashed very hard just a couple of laps ago. Got back up on the bike, is taken back third. Little bit of smoke coming out of the back of the Kawasaki too, Jeff.
That could be an issue. Now, what could have happened is in that gnarly crash that Villapoto had might have damaged one of the radiators. So very fortunate. I mean, that crash looked like it could have been a whole lot worse. The fact that he's even still riding right now, he got a little bit lucky, I think, on that one.
Boy, look at the gap, though, between him and Dungey now, whereas before that crash, he was really closing in on Dungey in a hurry. And if he can get back to second, even if he loses the overall, Townley and Villapoto would still be tied for the points lead leaving Washougal.
And you talk about being physically fit. How good a shape do you have to be in to ride like Villapoto has today and take that fall?
Chris Gosler takes a fall. He is down. The rider on the number 102. Medical staff attending to Chris. Looks like he's sitting up. Hopefully he'll be all right.
So disappointing. Chris Gosler having a 9th in the first moto. Actually, all of the Pro Circuit riders were inside the top 10. They have been really dominant here today at Washougal.
And here comes one of Gosler's teammates, Ryan Villapoto, by.
We've seen Villapoto take a little bit different line this time by. That was that same section where he crashed just a few laps ago. Look, he's still on the gas. He's still charging.
Jeff, we said this championship is going to come down to the rider that makes the least amount of mistakes. And today, 2 mistakes were made by Ryan Villapoto, which are going to cost him the championship lead.
Well, it looks like it's going to cost him the championship lead if things stay the same, but just a couple of points, and his ability to rebound from a bad start and just a horrendous crash is really to be admired. Let's take a look at Hepler here. Remember a few laps ago we talked about there was some white smoke coming out of that muffler on his bike. Looks like the 250F has expired for the day.
Hepler, of course, lost his goggles earlier in this moto and did a tremendous job of fighting for second without the advantage of having goggles. And it sounds like a simple thing, but it's a huge thing.
When you talk about goggles and tear-offs, Ryan Villapoto has had to have gone through his share today because he had to pass a lot of riders to get up to the point where he's at now.
Well, can he get at least one more and maybe stay tied for the points? We'll find out when we come back.
Hold on, fans, cause
close here in Washougal, Washington. Ben Townley still out in front, and nobody really challenging him for a good halfway through this moto. Ryan Dungey holds on second, but the fans still holding out hope that local favorite Ryan Villapoto on the number 1 can at least get up to second.
He has been on the gas here the second moto just to bring you guys up to speed. He had a bad start, then a horrendous crash, and is still challenging for a podium position. Setting third now. He needs second place, though, to keep himself tied in points for the championship with his teammate Ben Townley.
Last lap. And that's the man he's trying to catch, and he can see him, Jeff. I mean, he's already made up a tremendous amount of ground because after he got up from that crash, he got all the way back to 4th behind Hepler, and it looked like Dungey was way out of reach.
Well, I tell you, the way that Ryan Villapoto has been riding today, he's just been on fire. He's not stopping now. He's letting it all hang out here for his hometown crowd. And these fans, he's giving the fans exactly what they want to see, and that's 110% ride every lap of the moto here today for Ryan Villapoto.
Well, he is definitely not leaving anything on the table, and you can see the Suzuki mechanics encouraging Dungey because they can tell Villapoto is closing in quickly. Meanwhile, Townley out in front, as you can see from our Honda Skycam. No problems for the Kawasaki rider today.
Yeah, Ben Townley has been very solid. You kind of get the feeling that it's kind of that tortoise and the hare type vibe going on for this championship. Villapoto needs to get past Dungey here. Only about a half a lap left of the whole weekend to achieve that. And I tell you, if you're Ryan Dungey, you got to be pretty nervous right now, but he has been so strong all year. He's got Villapoto breathing down his neck. He feels the crowd cheering for someone other than himself. We'll see if he can hold him off. Only about a half a lap left, and it's getting tight.
I don't know if Dungey's going to be able to hold him off. Villapoto is just coming on so hard.
And you notice Ben Townley's right there. They're both catching up to Ben Townley. He can't back off too much. Comfort zone is starting to shrink for Ben Townley also.
Villapoto is right there with Dungey, and Dungey can sense him. Right on him. What a ride by Ryan Villapoto today. It's not for the win, but it might be the best moto ride of the season.
And coming into the final turn before the rhythm section, the riders have been taking the outside. Will Ryan Dungey hold the inside? No, he's going outside.
And there's some slower riders in front of him too. Boy, they've caught Townley's going to take the win, and at the checkers, it's just Ryan Dungey by about a bike length over Villapoto. And the best news for Dungey is that was the last lap.
What an incredible ride for all three of these riders.
We'll be right back to talk to him here at Washougal. We'll see if Villapoto has any energy left.
Michigan International Speedway. It's your speed. With all of your
Now you can get all the breaking news, in-depth analysis, and more with the Motorcycle Racing Report. Only at speedtv.com, keyword green, presented by Kawasaki. All the riders on the track are AMA members. Are you? If not, call 1-800-AMA-JOIN or visit AMADirectLink.com. AMA, rights, riding, and racing. Well, this was quite the moto here. Moto number 2 at Washougal, Washington. Ben Townley ends up winning moto number 2 to go along with the second place finish in moto number 1. He will be the overall winner here today, and he should also take over the points lead in the Motocross Lights Championship.
Here you see the Pro Circuit guys taking a look at Ryan Villapoto's bike. Bike started losing fluid after he crashed there. Very fortunate and even lucky that that bike finished the moto.
Ryan Villapoto tired and sore, but frustrated more about not winning it. Let's go to Aaron.
Ryan, you gave it everything you had out there this weekend. Is there anything that you left on the table?
You know, I felt good today, but you know, I just have to bring my speed up, man. I really want to battle with those guys out front, like one-on-one with everybody. But you know, me and Johnny Mayer working hard. Just think hard work's the key, and keep doing it. So just trying to bring up my speed a little bit, and hopefully in a few years here I'll be on top.
That hard work is paying off for Ryan Dungey. As you look at our Toyota Trucks results, he finishes 3rd. Townley will take the overall with Villapoto 2nd, so he salvages some points. And now we check in with Aaron and Ryan.
It's a tough go for Ryan Villapoto this afternoon. Ryan, coming in here, you guys tied for points. You're leaving here 2 down from your teammate. You gave it everything you had in front of your hometown crowd today.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, the first moto went well, and just came back to the second moto to do the same, but fell in the first turn, and then you know, got up, and I could see you know, catching them fast, and I figured I had them, and I just pushed it in a spot where I should have eased down a little bit and crashed, and again, so I just had to come back from that.
A tough break for you. What is it about this place? It seems that every single year it's either something goes wrong, either mechanically or a crash such as this. What is it about this track that makes it so difficult for all you guys?
It's pretty slippery, but I think this is one of the best times I've ever ridden it, so I think it was pretty good, but mainly it's just slippery and you just got to watch it.
Well, when the gate dropped and Villapoto was in 20th and Townley was up challenging for the lead, it looked like the points gap after round 8 would be huge. But a tremendous ride by Villapoto, and it's only 2. Now here's Ben Townley with Aaron.
Ben Townley, no stranger to picking up that win, especially on that second moto. Ben, what a battle it was. Probably one of the best battles we've seen so far this season, but you are now the points leader as we head into the 9th round. What does that do for your confidence?
It's great, you know, I came in here looking to do that, and you know, Ryan made a mistake, and I'll take it today. You know, I wasn't at my best, and felt like I was doing what I needed to do, so I'm happy to come out of here with the points lead, so just a bonus, pretty much.
All that support from his family and friends is finally paying off.
Well, I tell you, Ben Townley, like he said, he's doing what he has to do, but he's still trying to improve. Ryan Villapoto, clearly the fastest rider, but Ben Townley taking that overall. I tell you, it's an outstanding ride by all 3 of our podium riders. But more specifically, Ryan Villapoto, what a monumental ride and a recovery from a bad start and what could have been a season-ending crash to get back up, to keep charging. That's what it takes to be champion. On days like this, you have to make the best of it, and Ryan Villapoto definitely did today.
Baron Bates and Jeff Emig, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Washougal, Washington. We head now to Millville, Minnesota.